Welcome into this Thursday evening edition of Hand Raise Guys, Oxford Exxon Podcast, all those titles and more. Here with you, taking your calls, letting you set the agenda tonight on the stream. I don't think Neal and I have a ton, but we're going to be with you. We'll do whatever you'd like tonight, as we do most Thursday nights. See our stream is interesting already this morning. Hello, Grind. Hello, Denver Reb.
Oh, you said interesting. I thought, did it go away?
No, nothing bad. Just,
okay.
Just
you scared me there.
You thought we had a problem, bro.
I just didn't know. I figured, given the way today is unfolded, I would
nothing would shock you at this point.
I would not be surprised.
So, anyway, we're with you. Ole Miss in South Carolina. Looks like they're going to play some football Saturday. I guess evening. I mean, we thought all week they might change the game time, but
it's funny.
Surely to God that would have already happened if it were going to happen. It's
funny because I talked to the guys at South Carolina today. Chris Clark and I did a segment that you'll see on Saturday for our show, and then I did their show. And I think they were under the impression, frankly, I think Ray Tanner and Will Muschamp were under the impression that the game would likely get moved to a different time. They weren't lobbying for it. They just kind of thought it would happen. And quite frankly, I'm with them.
I don't understand why it hasn't happened.
I mean, I'm a little surprised. I have to say that I agree with both Muschamp and Tanner in that I thought it would be moved and that it makes sense to move it, and it just hasn't been moved.
Yeah, a lot of people keep going, hey, what do you hear? And I said, well, what I'm hearing is nothing, but I don't logically, as we said the other day, I mean, we're not going to become a complete broken record, but ESPN does not have a game right now at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
No.
I guess Kentucky-Vanderbilt is happening.
It appears it is happening.
It is interesting. I wonder, and I mean, condolences. I do not mean this in a trivial way whatsoever. I heard that on on Tuesday. I wonder if it was not COVID-related, but they knew that coach was close to passing away, and they thought that potentially could move that game. Kentucky lost one of its assistant coaches this week.
To cancer.
Yeah, and right. I wonder if that was maybe some of the reason for any of that situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. But that was
Vanderbilt has been, and not because of COVID as much as because their just numbers are so down, they're barely over 53 anyway.
So there's no margin for them. But point being, there are no games. So I don't know what ESPN is going to do. I do not know what's going to be in that time slot. I don't know what they're going to do as far as programming. Because it makes sense to just grab another game and then figure it out somewhere else.
I guess they could move it in the morning. What's today, Thursday?
Today's Thursday. You got it. No, today was the day. It had to happen by midday today if you were doing it. I mean, it doesn't have to. They can do whatever they want, but nothing else makes sense. Come on.
My guess is it's still at 6:30, and they're just going to have – it makes no sense. Why would you – I mean, and look, for anybody, I don't care. But if I'd been them, I would have said either to Ole Miss or Florida, the two home teams, hey, one of you guys got to move up.
Yeah. Y'all want to play paper, rock, scissors? What are you going to do? I don't care.
Yeah.
Just somebody.
How do y'all want to do this? Yeah.
Sure. That'd have been good programming. Put that on SEC Network. Let's play 2 out of 3 paper, rock, scissors. See who plays at 11
What's
o'clock.
the more attractive slot from a TV standpoint? Not the game, the slot. Is it 11 a.m. or 6:30 on Masters Saturday?
On ESPN.
Yeah, because you're also going up against a Big Ten game on ABC.
What time's that?
11. And you're going up against...
Because of the Masters, it's 6:30. On a normal week, it's 11 because you're coming out of game day.
What's more attractive, having a 6 and a 6:30 against each other, or a 3 and a 6, or a 2:30? Because they lost their 2:30 game too. Because the 2:30 game was Tennessee, Texas A&M. It's off the board. So they lost an 11 a.m. ESPN game, a 2:30 ESPN game, a 3 o'clock SEC Network game, and a 5 o'clock CBS game. So it just makes no sense to me. I'm struggling with this. Why you would have Vandy, Kentucky at 11 a.m. on the SEC Network and then nothing for 7 hours. And then have Arkansas, Florida, which is a fairly attractive game, and South Carolina, Ole Miss, which is at least an interesting game, basically against each other. Why would you do that?
So what are they going to put on? Do we know?
Hell, I don't know. I have no clue.
Clay said he's never heard anybody call it paper, rock, scissors. You heard Rochambeau the whole time? Is that right?
I've always called it
paper, rock, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, really? Oh, is that the thing? Am I saying the wrong one first?
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Not paper, rock, scissors?
No, I've never heard paper, rock, scissors.
Okay.
I've heard rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. I don't know. Nobody says scissor, paper, rock for sure.
No. It's rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm just a little surprised. I really, because the Carolina guys thought it was getting moved yesterday, and I did too.
Logically.
Yeah. I mean, Will's answer was, we'll play when they tell us to play, but yeah. And then also from a travel standpoint, you don't want the players.
You get audition, right?
Yeah, we're going. All right. Now you got me paranoid. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's rolling.
Okay.
The paper, the players, wouldn't you want them? It's either one way or the other. Either Arkansas is traveling back in the middle of the night or Carolina's traveling back in the middle of the night, but I don't know. Seems like you'd want to eliminate one of those travels, especially with all the COVID crap. Like, don't want them up late, middle of the night, tired, whatever, I guess. I don't know. Beats me.
I just want to see what they put on. Because this makes me think, which I haven't seen an announcement anywhere else, this makes me think they just go grab an ESPN3 game, right?
Your guess
they got to do something.
There's a bunch of games at 11. I'll pull it up. Freddie Freeman got the NL MVP. Good for him.
Yeah. That was a lock, wasn't it?
Yeah, but, still, when you win it. So the 11 a.m. games
that aren't on TV
Saturday.
Because that's
they've already fixed this. Miami, Virginia Tech's at 11.
Okay.
On ESPN. So they did move a game.
Where was that originally?
Hell, I don't know. Indiana, Michigan State's on ABC. Coastal Carolina and Troy is on ESPN2. Western Carolina and Liberty is on U. Penn State, Nebraska is on FS1. Illinois, Rutgers is on the Big Ten Network. Wake Forest, North Carolina is on the ACC Network. TCU and West Virginia is on Fox. Vanderbilt and Kentucky is on the SEC Network. And then you get to 2:30, And maybe this is why they just didn't want to go up against it. You've got Notre Dame, Boston College, and USC, Arizona. So 2 pretty big national brands at 2:30.
Sure.
Maybe they just said, F it. And then at 3, you've got on television Baylor, Texas Tech.
Miami, Virginia Tech was originally on ESPN2 at 11. So whatever's on 2 is the game that has been shifted.
There's nothing at the 3 o'clock hour. So the people that are hoping to watch a lot of middle, like when our show comes on,
yeah,
people might actually watch our programming instead of football at 3 o'clock. There's nothing.
So Coastal Carolina is who actually got a TV game now out of this.
I guess so.
Because Miami, Virginia Tech shifts to ESPN at 11, and then Coastal Carolina Troy gets put on ESPN2, right? At 11. Is that what you're telling me?
I think so. And so as of now, Ole Miss, South Carolina is at 6:30 on SEC Network, and Arkansas, Florida still at 6 on ESPN. So shows you what we know about television programming.
Well, I mean, we mentioned that they could pull from other places. I mean, they did. That makes sense. Because, frankly, while it's not sexy per se, Coastal has had a good enough year that you can go, yeah, sure, put them on the deuce.
Yeah, sure.
That's fine.
Our friend Michael Benson, now the chancellor at Coastal Carolina.
I mean, look, if ESPNU would like hand raise guys, they can have it. We'll be happy to
We make that work.
talk to somebody, have them call our people. Doable.
Do we have people?
Not really.
Yeah.
What do you do in paper, rock, scissors? Are you aggressive or are we?
I mean, I hate to give away strategy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You never know who you're going to play. I mix it up. I have thoughts.
do you?
Yeah, so let's the elephant in the room. Ben Leslie says, "What about the 247 article that Ole Miss Texas A&M has canceled?" Look, I can't tell you it's wrong. Yesterday, I would have. All I saw was David's tweet. He said 99%. Yesterday on Wednesday, I was told that it was unlikely that the game would get played on time.
Okay.
I was also told that the league was going to try to get the game in because the league needs to get games in. They're running out of margin of error. A&M has – so here's where A&M's kind of weird about it is – so they had 16 people get contact traced.
Okay.
So they're testing those people. And as goofy as this sounds, Chase, if some of those people test positive, they can play.
Yeah, that's better.
If they don't test positive, they can't play.
Yeah.
Because it's – unless – no, they can't play. They'd be a day late.
They would.
But if some of them test positive,
Because they could test out.
they could test out.
Yes. Or only have a 10-day wait, not a 14-day
Yeah,
wait.
but this first day
Yes.
would be the first
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Because it makes lots of sense.
That might be, of all the bureaucratic dumb rules, that might be the dumbest rule there is. If you test positive, you're out 10 days. If you're just around somebody who tests positive, you're out 14 days.
Even if you have no symptoms and you're negative.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Well, I saw today the Stanford quarterback that was held out. Actually, that was a false positive. So, whoops. Sorry.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, shit. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Anyway, today I tried to confirm that story on both sides. Got nowhere. No one denied it. No one confirmed it. I'm not saying David's right. So please don't go say. I'm not saying David's wrong. I should say. Please don't go say that I said David's wrong. I don't have that.
Either way. Yeah. Confirming or denying. Don't know.
So, I mean, he's probably right, but I don't have it. So there's a lot of COVID fatigue among people talking about stuff too.
If it's all contact tracing, frankly, it's not 99%. Either there is or isn't. It's basic math.
Right.
Because at this point,
but if you tested positive like tomorrow,
no, I understand that.
All of a sudden you're out in 3 days.
Yeah, I guess my point. What's amazing about this, and I don't know the answer is, so much more of it's happening now off such a small amount of positive cases. Why did this not happen in August or September? Why now? Because the case numbers are not moving up as far as how many players are getting it on each team. And then, two, I would have anticipated a better chance of playing as the season went on just because once you test positive, you don't test again for 90 days.
I know.
That's what gets me is you would think in a lot of these schools there'd only be so many kids that could even get it at this point.
So you wonder if the guys who tested positive in June are no longer they're no longer covered by it, so they're still contact traced.
Something today. Hold on. Let me get this right. For 90 days, you don't get tested again, okay?
But what if you're contact traced?
That's what I was going to say. Between days 91 and 150, you can be thrown into a contact trace.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
I think that's right. I was told this today, and my head's already jumbled, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Well, if that's the case, you're not even getting tested, though. So yeah. Anyway, I'm winding my mind a little pretzel right now. So whatever. Yeah.
Is there football?
What are we watching?
I thought I had football on, but I guess I'd hit the wrong button.
We're watching the 60s.
I guess I'd hit the wrong button. The TV went off. I don't know, man. I've had a day.
You got a bunch of favorite 60s songs? You're just hanging out in the 60s?
I don't know that I have any 60s songs.
That's like... Yeah, that
was before my time.
Well, yeah.
I don't remember any 70s songs.
I could name more 50s and 70s than I could 60s. Like, I feel like
yeah.
Throw some Elvis in there or something, but I mean,
I don't really remember much until the 80s.
You not a lot of 70s?
Not really.
What year were you born?
70.
Oh, 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colts Titans tonight.
Who's she? Carissa somebody?
I don't know. Hey, I guess.
Yeah.
Good context clue there, Neal. Names across the bottom of the screen.
I wasn't paying attention to her name.
A lot of people pick the Titans.
Playing the Colts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What do y'all want to talk about? What's going on? Tell us what's going. How's your week been? What are you drinking? What's up?
Ole Miss picked 9th SEC basketball. I had them 7th.
Okay.
Frankly, I struggled between putting them 6th, 7th, or 8th.
Where did you feel like there were jumbles?
Ooh, let me pull that up.
Yeah.
My mind needs a refresher. So put this on the site so I can find it. By the way, if you're not a subscriber, the annual Nike promo just went live today. So you can subscribe to rebelgrove.com for $75 for year one, and you get a $75 gift card from Nike. So pretty cool. I'm trying to find it, Chase. There we go. So I had Tennessee 1. I actually was a voter this year.
Okay.
They trusted they said, hey, we know you're a massive homer, but we're gonna trust you one time. So I took it seriously. I had Tennessee 1. I had Kentucky 2. I had LSU 3. So I was on the top 3. I had Florida and Alabama. I had Florida, Arkansas 4-5 in some order. I can't remember. I think I had Florida 4, Arkansas 5, and then I had Alabama, Ole Miss, and Auburn
in a pile.
Yeah, and South Carolina. So I had 4 of them kind of in a jumble, and I ended up dropping South Carolina to the bottom of that. And I think I had Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn on mine. I put it in 10 thoughts. So,
okay.
But and then I got jumbled again after that, like Missouri, A&M, Mississippi State. Then I had Georgia 13 and Vanderbilt 14.
Okay.
So
Vandy's going to suck.
Yeah, Vandy's going to be bad. Georgia's going to be bad. I don't think State's going to be good.
They were picked pretty low.
And then, A&M has a chance to surprise. Missouri's got a chance to be better than 10th. I think Ole Miss will be better than 9th. Carolina could be better than 8th. You see where I'm going here. Auburn at 7 could be better than 7. Arkansas could be better than 6. I mean, there's not much bad. Arkansas's good. Auburn's good. Alabama's really good. Florida has a chance to be really good. LSU is immensely talented. I mean, it's like raining in Baton Rouge. Kentucky's Kentucky.
You get a chance to play in the PMAC, you want to play in the PMAC.
Kentucky's Kentucky, and look, Tennessee's terrific. Tennessee has a chance to be a elite.
Tennessee's picked to win the league.
Yeah.
Is Kentucky a little worse than usual?
No, they're just super young, as always.
Welcome to.
Trying to see if I got. I picked 4 of the first 5 SEC players. I had Petty, Keontae Johnson, Brandon Boston, and Trendon Watford. I didn't have Fulkerson on the first team.
You have Keontae Johnson, Player of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had Pines on the first team, and he got second team, the Tennessee player. I can't remember.
Eves Pines is how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's really good. It's a good league, man. I mean, the league's really good. I mean, look at who the second team is. I mean, Javonte Smart and Drew Smith and A.J. Lawson, Eves Pons, Savion Flagg. You'd take that 5 and roll. So it's be a fun league. I mean, I think you could pick Ole Miss as high as 5 and as low as 9.
Okay.
So it's a jumble.
Take that how you want to.
And if you're Kermit, you're like, pick us 9th.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Give me motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to pick 4th. I mean,
yeah, let me go. Yeah. The league disrespected you. They picked you 3rd. Oh, that sucks, Coach. No, you can say, hey, people don't believe in you. And they weren't good last year. And so, when people go, well, shouldn't you
Some
know?
roster turnover wasn't great.
Yeah, shouldn't you
Lost Bree and Tyree.
Yeah, so I get it. I get why people are looking at him going, I don't know. Someone says, how many tournament teams? It's a hell of a question. G210 Reb. 8. But here's the thing. No one knows what the damn season's going to look like. And I'm writing about this tomorrow a little bit. I talked to Kermit about it today in the videos up at rebelgrove.com. And I'll write about it tomorrow. My day got away today. I'm sorry. This contact tracing thing in basketball is a potential nightmare.
Oh.
I mean, it is a potential, and frankly, Chase, it's a potential baseball nightmare. Dudes sit in dugouts for hours at a time.
Because the only way to avoid contact trace is to never be within how many ever feet for more than 15 minutes. Ever.
6 feet for 15 minutes. Well, the dugout is only, so you got to put players in the stands.
You'd have to spread them out somehow, yeah.
You're going to have to.
That.
Have you talked to Mike about this yet?
I haven't, no.
Today was the first day that I started kind of grilling Kermit on it, and I could tell he was like, damn it, shut up. And I was like, you know what? I think that of me too. Right now I'm wanting to stab myself. But I was asking, do you put one in a room? Do you single room? And that's going to cost money, and then you're not making money. Man, there's a lot here. And I don't even want to do it because it's depressing. But there's a lot here that, like, for basketball and baseball sports that, like at Ole Miss, for example, they normally make some money off basketball.
Sure.
Not much. This year it's going to cost money. Baseball at Ole Miss always breaks even, and then a little bit.
Yeah.
They won't break even this year because they're not going to be able to fill up the stadium.
Yeah. You only break even if you can get 100% capacity and full premium seating. That's it.
So you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're dipping into football, which lost money. I was talking to the guys at South Carolina today. They said South Carolina's going to lose $60 million, Chase, this year. $60 million.
Keith told us even after, let's see, I talked to Keith on the bus the day before the Alabama game. So he had mentioned even at that point for just one home game and then the day before the second home game, that they had lost like $6 or $8 million just off the budget number at the 25% capacity. Not full, just even what they could have made given the current stipulations from where they were. God knows what that looks like on a higher level.
So Chris and those guys at Gamecock Central today, we were talking about it, and they were talking about how South Carolina has, they've kind of always run a fairly conservative department. They've made money. They've operated in the black. They're going to lose $60 million. Then you're going to fire the coach? So now you lose $73 million. Then you got to go buy out the next coach.
Just no good answer.
There's no answer. It's exactly right. All right, the Titans really wasted a uniform opportunity. They're going all Navy.
You don't like this?
No, I would have gone with the powder.
Now you're already going to lose because you're on the field with the Colts.
Yeah, I would have gone with the powder jersey
on a white pant,
or even on the Navy pant.
Okay. Oh, you're fine with powder on Navy like that.
Yeah, I like the two blues.
Okay, like the Grizzlies do a little bit.
Yeah, look, that Colt uniform. Whew. I mean, we should take a moment just to appreciate that. That is nice. Look at it. AJ's a monster.
Yeah, he's all right. Gonna have a career here.
He was down.
I think he was down. This is why it's not very good in podcasts the next day at all, because we just watch football for a minute. I don't know, whatever. It's whatever.
They have a couple of good questions in here, Chase.
Okay, sure.
I'll take the football one first, and the baseball one, so you can think about it. Your thoughts on the new
baseball one?
Yeah, your thoughts on the new baseball commits. The question that I think will have more, because it's right now, not insulting baseball.
Go ahead.
You talk about the impact of the dead period being extended beyond signing day. Did you see this today?
I did see that today, yes.
So they've moved it to April 15th. The impact is, for a moment, let's do the non-Ole Miss for just a minute, just in general. It sucks for the kids, doesn't it? I mean, Denver, feel free to weigh in. It sucks for the kids. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, Minnesota, wherever the kid's looking, that you can't take visits and talk to people and have that experience and do the official visit and meet the academic people and all the stuff that you do.
Blind.
Man, it just sucks for the kid. That's my first thought. And then
very life-defining decisions, too.
Yeah.
Going, I don't know what that guy's like. I'm doing the best I can. We Zoom a little bit. Awesome.
Now, from the school standpoint, and I'll do Ole Miss because we cover Ole Miss, and the people in here are 99% Ole Miss. They don't – if you're Lane Kiffin, for example, you're going to sign a class full of people you haven't met.
He's been lamenting this the whole year.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah.
The same thing holds for Sam Pittman, for Elijah Drinkwitz, for Mike Leach, for every other first-year coach. You're going to sign kids you've never met, with a couple of exceptions. Now, how the hell do you do that?
How do you gauge everything? How they're going to meld with your program? How they're going to be discipline-wise?
Because they might be on a Zoom call, but you don't get to. Your players don't get to take them out or to go play video games. Yeah. To come back and go, hey, coach.
The next day comes and goes, dude, psycho.
Hey, coach, that dude's psycho, man. He stole shit out of my apartment.
Yeah, out.
And that stuff happens.
Yeah, sure.
Or, hey, coach, man, this dude's he's the real deal.
You don't have to worry about this one.
This dude's sharp.
Yeah.
And maybe that takes a kid from I don't know to you know what, why not?
Yeah.
Or solidifies it.
Sure.
Or, and this happens all the time in recruiting, a kid, we'll do Ole Miss, for example. Let's say a kid's down to Ole Miss and Tennessee, okay? And in his mind, he's like, I'm going to Tennessee. And he takes the visit to Ole Miss, and it just knocks his socks off. And he's like, whoa, I got to think about this. Or vice versa, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Now that's gone. How do you do that? I mean, who has the best Zoom call? Seriously.
You're not sitting at the dinner table with the parents, getting the gauge on, hey, what's this 90 minutes like?
You've heard that, hey, Uncle Bobby's a problem?
Yeah.
Well, now you don't get to meet Uncle Bobby. I mean, you want to bring Uncle Bobby to the official visit. Let's figure out what this dude is.
Yeah.
Because we've heard stories.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. It sucks for everybody. Here's to answer your question, Denver. It's going to create a ton of mistakes in recruiting. Oh yeah. It's going to. I mean, everybody. This is going to be a really bad year for this. Like rivals and 24/7, we're going to get killed for evaluations. And that's fine. It's hard anyway, and you don't get to see as much this year. The coaches are going to make mistakes now.
There's no way but to make mistakes.
They'll make more mistakes. And kids will slip through the cracks and end up at a Coastal Carolina or a Middle Tennessee and look like an All-American, and then they'll take advantage of the one-year transfer only and transfer into a bigger program. I mean, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a nut show.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any legal loopholes to meet the parents in person. I'm not. I mean, it's a dead period. I mean,
you can't.
Yeah.
Literally, Jen Deuce says there has to be a loophole to meet at least the parents in person. Literally, if the parents come to the campus, you can't take their call.
It's and look, it's hitting everything. I mean, I posted the YouTube video. I talked to Corey Hinkes, Thomas Women's golf coach, for a little while today because they moved up number 2 in the country this week. Done one hell of a rebuilding job that I'm not going to spend time on tonight. But she talks about how a lot of their recruiting is international. You can't go overseas.
Yeah.
So what do? I mean, it's taken a sport where usually you would do 3-4 years in advance and you'd be like baseball. Well, now it's almost year to year because you go, God, I can't get over there. I don't know. I mean,
Sammy says, can a kid and his family just visit any campus on their own and just accidentally run into the staff at Waffle House? No, you can visit the campus, but you can't. If you would not be able to accidentally bump into them at the Waffle House or at whatever restaurant you want to name. You couldn't accidentally sit next to each other at St. Leo. Nope, the coaches would have to go, hey, I can't talk to you here. Bye. And that amount of contact would have to be reported to compliance.
It would be a bump rule, which is cool, whatever.
Yeah, it'd be fine. You get away with it. You have to report it. No, it's a mess, man. Ben Leslie says people fall in love all the time online, Neal. Also prison letters.
I mean, look, Ted Bundy got married in court.
It's a great
stuff
point.
happens.
It's a great point.
He did one hell of a job getting the judge to say the right things to get that done.
But Denver's question was a good one. He said, what about, going into April? So here's the deal. Now it affects the next class. I think one thing you do is that you push spring back as long as possible now. You don't do spring until late April, early May.
You can push that son of a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
At the risk of just completely just trashing where we're going, what I was told today is that it's unlikely that April 15th is real, that it probably goes beyond that.
Then it even doesn't happen then.
That we're into the middle of the summer at the earliest.
How's that possible?
Until the vaccine is...
I'm talking about how do you,
Are you asking me to make sense of it?
I don't know what I'm asking.
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation with me, of all people? I'm the one that's created 9 gazillion enemies. I'm a live and let live guy. You know that.
Yeah.
You can have 40,000 people in your stadium in College Station, but you can't bring a family of 3 in for an official visit?
And just sit across the room?
I mean, you
sit outside, have a picnic?
You can't sit outside in Kyle Field and talk? You can't go to an outdoor restaurant and sit and have a hamburger?
Why can't you do that? Why can't you have a visit day where you spread everybody out on blankets 20 feet apart on the middle of the freaking football field and go, you know what, I'll walk blanket to blanket within 6 feet.
I don't know.
That's what bothers me about the bureaucratic mess of this.
That's the first thing that bothers you?
Well, okay, fair. But it's not about problem solving. That's the general issue with all of this. It's not about problem solving. They don't really want to fix it. Because you can be creative and you go, okay, even within your rules, cool. Now let's figure it out. No, just done.
I know.
That's what gets me.
So what does it mean? What it means is now if you're a help me with my years here. So if you're a high school junior this year,
okay,
and you sign in December of 21 / February 22, they didn't see you play as a junior, and they might not get to see you go through the camp thing. Man, the amount of mistakes that are going to get made. And it's bottom line, and I know we're talking Ole Miss mostly, and forgive me, this is just me being a dad, it sucks for the kids. It really sucks for the kids. You wish the kids could go to different spring. They go to the junior days, right?
Sure.
February, you go to a junior day at Mississippi State, you go to one at Alabama, you go to one at Ole Miss, you go to one to Auburn, you go to one at LSU, whatever. Yeah. And a couple of those stick out because they're kids. They're in, they're
the barbecues and the picnics and the Friday night lights and the whole deal.
And then they say, okay, well, I'm going to go camp at Ole Miss and I'm going to go camp at Auburn. And, hey, Missouri started recruiting me and I like their coach and I'm going to go camp there. And then by the end of the summer, it's like, man, I kind of really like a couple of these schools, and now there's relationships built. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I guess you can Zoom it and text it and Instagram it, I guess. Cool. I mean, go for it, but it's not. That might work with the 17-year-old kid, but I don't know that it works with his parents. Certainly doesn't work with his grandparents. And for a lot of these kids, grandparents are a big part of their lives. What are you going to do? You going to Zoom grandma over and over and over? I mean, how's that work? How do you get to know anybody?
And the answer is you don't.
The answer is you don't.
You hope and pray and you...
Well, Lane Kiffin said the other day, he wasn't bitching about it. He was just being honest. He goes, there's some kids they're recruiting who didn't play their senior year because of the pandemic. So you're like, okay, well, let's look at his junior film. Now let's see how much he's grown.
And then try to do this equation thing.
And then it's okay, but is there no film? There's no film. So we don't really know how much he grew as a player. Did he improve? Did he not? Did he plateau as a junior? Because that happens. All right, now let's make a decision.
Yeah, you're calling the coach and going, so how's Johnny? And you're getting every coach going, oh, man, he's bigger, stronger, faster.
What it means is that the transfer portal is going to be even crazier. That's what it means. So
Tennessee's fun to watch.
Yeah, they're good. The Titans, you mean, not the Vols.
Yeah. No, the Vols are not fun to watch.
So that is a great question. All right, he asked you about baseball guys that signed. Yeah.
For anybody who's new around here, baseball gets 11.7 scholarships. Those are spread amongst 27 scholarship players. A 35-man roster that is elevated this season only for seniors to come back from last year. So you get a couple extra spots, but you only get it if you have that many seniors for those extra spots. And with Ole Miss, they're not a lottery scholarship program, meaning they do not get a lot of help in other ways like some schools do, which means they basically work for every third year to put together a top 3 class from a total commit standpoint. They don't have the roster space. They don't have the money on the 11.7 total. Not money, because they don't really cheat in baseball. That'd be kind of weird. If we started doing that, that'd be we'd get a little Wild West if we start paying baseball kids. So it's a small class. That's why they're going to be ranked 20th, 25th, whatever. Don't freak the hell out. It's because they only have 11 commits in the entire class. I looked at it right here. All 11 are in the top 500 in the country. They've got a kid, 14, 76, 176, 204. They're all up there. So it's a talented class. It's not a big class, so don't get caught up on rankings. They will have another top 5 class in 2022 is how this works. Next year's class will be a little bigger, and then they have the biggest class the year after that because it's just the way Ole Miss has to operate right now. If you're looking for worried about guys, you're worried about Jackson Jobe. He is the number 14 player in the country for this season. That means typically high draft pick. He is a right-handed pitcher from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That is your biggest draft watch, 6'2", 190 on him. And then you've got some in-state kids after that too. Mississippi had a pretty good year in-state because you've got Hunter Elliott, 176 nationally, kid from Tupelo. Left-handed pitcher, 6'3", 205. Kid from MRA, kid from Jackson Prep, both ranked there in the top 250 as well in the country. A lot of in-state kids. They did a lot of in-state recruiting, which again saves you money because you're only paying in-state tuition, not out-of-state tuition, and it's a way to maximize your 11.7. I do think that's what our Ole Miss has gotten better over the last few years. And I don't know the reason for this. I've never really talked to Laugh or Clem or Mike about it, but used to, I felt like if there were two kids that were kind of the same, they would trend more toward the out-of-state kid for whatever reason. I feel like they'd go into the Jacksonville area or go into Atlanta and take that kid. I feel like now they're more likely to stay in state if two kids are pretty comparable and similar. And from a 11.7 number standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's a small class. It's a good class. We'll see what they do JUCO wise. That's not now. That happens in the spring, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, Jackson Jobe is your big time player to watch in this class from a draft standpoint. Ole Miss has done a really good job in the last couple of years of putting together a really good class that's not too good, where they lose a lot of guys to the draft. They've really handled the draft well over the last 2 or 3 seasons, but this is definitely one you're going to have to look to. He's the number 1 player in Oklahoma. Again, his velo time, even at his age, is up to 96, 97 miles an hour. So he can sling it a little bit.
Just a little. Forgot to tell you at the beginning that we're coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. That number, call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Guest and you guys join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters on the Square is open. Be a great place this weekend to hang out, watch the Masters, watch college football, pro football. I guess that's all that's on. Maybe some English Premier League or whatnot. Be a great place to hang out, enjoy their burgers, crawfish, drink specials, and more. They're at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. With fall upon us, now's a great time to start preparing for colder weather. No one wants to come home, find out their heating system isn't working. Our friends over at Comer Heating and Air have you covered. They're the name you can trust. They bring more than 50 years of professional HVAC experience to Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. They're offering a special fall preventative maintenance agreement to make sure your heating system is running in tip-top shape. Make sure to call Comer Heating and Air, 662-801-1777 for all your heating and cooling needs. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Christmas is just around the corner. Holiday gifting always involves a last-minute scramble, but this year the folks over at Blue Delta Jeans are here to make sure it does not have to be that way. Simply visit their site at bluedeltajeans.com, visit the Oxford studio, or contact them at info@bluedeltajeans.com to purchase a gift card and give your loved ones the gift of custom Mississippi-made jeans for the holidays. Also, don't forget that Blue Delta would love to be a part of your holiday gifting at work. No matter the number of people in your company, give Blue Delta a call to inquire about bringing Blue Delta jeans to your office for the best holiday gift there is. Dead Soxy is excited to announce an incredible score for the holidays at the conclusion of Saturday's Ole Miss South Carolina game. However many points the Rebels have scored, Dead Soxy will match that number as a percentage discount. If the Rebels score 38 on the Gamecocks, the promo code will activate for 38% off. 50 points? No problem. 50% off. The score sale will run from the conclusion of the game until midnight on Monday, November the 16th. So load up on your favorite stocking stuffers and score this incredible offer. Visit deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code RebelGrove at checkout. Receive the score sale percentage off all orders. And as always, stay Soxy. I'll tell you where I felt old.
Yeah.
Jay and Gabe and I have a group text, which is usually not safe for print.
Okay.
And he pointed out that, see if you recognize the name, Seaver Sheets signed with Auburn.
Don't tell me it's his kid.
Okay, I won't tell you.
But it is.
But it is.
No shit.
Ben Sheets' kid signed with Auburn. I was like, I feel so old.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Ben Sheets played at ULM. He's from Northeast Louisiana. His son, they live in the Monroe area, and he signed with Auburn. Seaver Sheets.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Seaver like Tom Seaver? S-E-A-V-E-R?
Spelled that way, so I would assume that there's a connection.
You think so?
I'm guessing.
Whew.
I know. Want to feel old?
I mean, okay.
How about that?
I mean, I get it. Jesus.
I mean, first we had Johnny Bench's kid, and now Ben Sheets' kid.
I mean, whatever. Let's see. I was trying to see. We were on a baseball topic. They had some news coming out of the committee meeting as far as schedules and crap for the spring. They're essentially letting every conference do whatever they want as far as games played, and not making it hurt postseason situations. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Play 10 games, play 56 games, have at it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's see. Oh, hold on.
Something wrong?
Well, this is interesting. In baseball, because it's so stupid, not enough people technically care. They might get away with it. But could you imagine this happening with basketball? This is a paragraph from Kendall Rogers' thing, and he's really good on some of this council stuff. The use of the RPI as a metric in 2021 was one of the more intriguing items from the committee last week. There was some discussion amongst talking heads in college baseball. The committee could take swift action to propose using an average bid format, where they'll just give leagues predetermined postseason bids based on the last 5 years and simply scrap the RPI altogether for the 2021 season. So basically saying, hey, SEC, you get 9. Figure them out.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, that's interesting. Just going, hey, Mountain West, yeah, you're winner, you're champion.
Well, I think this is happening in football with fans, and
this year's going to be different. It is what it is.
I totally get the frustration. Like people are like, why are they trying to accommodate LSU, Alabama? Because CBS wants the game. That's why. Why don't they just let LSU forfeit? Because CBS wants the game. And in basketball and baseball, it's going to be, hey, this is not normal. It's not going to be a normal year. We got to just do it how we do it. That's happening. Also
scrapping the 500 or better record to make the postseason, because if you end up with a conference-only schedule, you don't want Ole Miss or somebody getting left out at 14 and 16.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing there. Anyway, yeah, nothing major. Just a couple things that I was seeing as we move through. Yes, Eric. He who writes the check makes the rules.
That is the way it works.
That is
life. All right, the phone lines are open. Numbers up on the screen. You want to call? Call. It's like the Little Johnny joke.
Yeah.
You know, all you people getting on, get on. All you people getting off, get off. You've heard that joke, right? Yeah. It's one of my favorite jokes. Never get told.
The SEC representative on the Division I baseball committee this year is John Cohen, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll go well.
Yeah, just heads up, everybody. Larry Templeton was busy, so John's going to do it this year.
Who do we have?
Hey, boys. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Bubba. What's up, man?
Man, I'm having a good day.
Oh, really? What happened?
Just, just sitting here with Miller. He's sitting here whining a little bit. Just, working hard and getting everything done. So, but anyway. And, hey, wanted to ask y'all a quick question.
Okay.
What's this stuff I'm hearing with Coach O? Got some pictures with some girl. Word is read on the Tiger dropping. He done got that girl pregnant already.
I have not heard.
that. I'm unaware of that situation.
Yeah, he's having him a bad day.
Yeah, you know what? Let's not spread that one here, because we don't know that to be true. I'm having a hard time confirming whether Ole Miss and Texas A&M are playing next week, so I don't even want to go there.
We're not followed by the FCC or anything, though.
No,
yeah,
but
fine.
I don't want Ed Orgeron to end up on my front door either. So,
I mean, we've heard of that happening before
in this town.
Yeah. It's
exactly.
That's.
Yeah, well, you boys think I was talking to my son-in-law, and he thinks that Alabama will kill LSU, and that's why he don't want to play him at all.
That's what Lane Kiffin
thinks. Yeah, he's not the only person that thinks that.
Yeah, well, I think he's right.
That's not
Coach
good,
O's having him a bad year. His wife's going to get half his money and could have something on the way. But you never know. But anyway, hope you boys are doing well, and hope y'all have a good night. And sorry I'm being short. I've been going since about 5 o'clock this morning.
I understand, Bubba. Thank you for the call.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
That was not good on AJ's part.
No, that was
need to catch that one.
That was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ should have had that one.
Yeah, I have not heard that about Eddie O. No idea. That is absolutely none of my business.
Nope.
I have no interest in that one.
Nope. No interest in that story.
If so, congratulations. If
I
not,
guess.
okay.
Whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Ed, whatever you want to happen, happens. All good.
None of my business.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'm aware that there's a report that it's 99% chance of being canceled. I'm just explaining to you that I'm unable to confirm or deny that, which doesn't mean anything. I'm not criticizing the report at all. The fact that it hasn't been confirmed by anyone makes me a little hesitant. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not a lot hesitant, just a little. It makes me wonder if 99's not too strong.
Because A&M's not saying that yet. They're media people.
No, because they could still test out. And the league wants the games to get played.
Veterans Day on the middle of the week makes it a less of a celebrated holiday.
It should be a Monday.
Sitting on
it?
a Wednesday
Yeah.
or whatever it was is
Yeah.
totally different. It just doesn't work the same way. See Peyton still doing commercials? Plenty of them.
Peyton's making lots of money. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, man, this is John from Yazoo.
Hey, John, what's up?
Oh, not a lot, man. How y'all doing?
Good. I've got family from Yazoo, believe it or not. My cousins, my Uncle Lynn and Aunt Betty lived in Yazoo forever.
I know them well.
Yeah, my cousins
I
Amy and Jill.
baseball cards from Esco's.
Yeah.
When my mom was shopping in the Sunflower, I'd go in Esco and bother your Uncle Lynn and sit on the front steps and open packs of baseball cards.
Is that right? How about that?
Yep. Sure. And I sat behind your parents and got to meet them at the last baseball game Ole Miss had. I think it was against Princeton. Sat with a buddy of mine. Got to meet them. You come from good folks.
Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate
really
that. Appreciate that. So what's up?
But yeah, man, not a whole lot. Just calling to chat a bit. Bubba dropped a bomb. That
was more bomb than I wanted dropped. I wanted no part of that bomb.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't blame you from stepping away on that. Just want to call and talk about this COVID nonsense. It's unreal how much I find myself agreeing with y'all on it, but it's just almost therapeutic to listen to y'all because you bring a little bit of levity and common sense to this whole deal. But it's insane, man. I just don't know where this ends or if it ends or when it ends.
I'm glad I bring some levity to it. If I'm honest, I lost about. I probably fell asleep around 10:30 last night. I woke up at 2, could not go back to sleep. Got up, worked. I was behind on picks. I came in here and did picks.
I was about to say, because I put my picks in this morning around 6, and I saw you'd already been in the system today with it.
If I'm honest, this has been the first week in a while that I've kind of been in a little dark place about it, if I'm just being completely frank. And I got up at 2. I couldn't go back to sleep, and I caught up on work. I got way ahead of work, actually. My food for thought's already written. And then today, I kind of knew there was a real chance that the middle school was going to get shut down, and my fear was that would mean that soccer got shut down, and I knew that would be a really depressing thing in my house, and it did happen. And yeah,
I mean, the toll this is taking on people. Not the virus itself, but the fallout from it. I mean, it's insane, man. But I was glad to see Tate Reeves come out today and said that,
what do you say?
I've never heard that. He said that Mississippi will not go along with a national lockdown, even if one is implemented from, I guess, my administration.
So it's funny that you say that, because I thought it was interesting last night. I know people think that I don't pay attention, but I do pay attention to the board. And it was interesting to me last night, or middle of the night, or whenever the hell I read it, forgive me. In March and April, when this happened, there were certainly some people, and I've apologized to them because they were right and I was wrong, who were like, hey, man, you let your civil liberties go and you don't get them back. And I was like, oh, no, that's no way. And I thought it was,
man,
I thought it was,
doubt.
yeah, I thought it was,
toothpaste is out of the tube, man.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
You can't put it back in.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting last night how many people were like, "Nope, I'm not going to do it. I'll protest. I'll do whatever. I'll march without a mask. I will do whatever. I'm not doing that again." And I thought that's there's going to be a lot of that if we get that. And like tonight, and I'm not interrupting your call. I'm going to shut up in a minute and let you talk. Chicago's shutting down. New York City is shutting down, and yet there's suburbs in those places that are like, we're not. It's not doing it. I mean. So it's a really fascinating dynamic how we've shifted from March to November.
Oh, I agree. Look, anyone that knows me, I've always made fun of people who march or protest, and I'm not saying it's right or anything. I just never had a cause I felt worthy enough to waste my time. I mean, I have a job, never understood how people take time out of their day to do that. But look, man, if they implement another national lockdown, I'd be the first in line to get out there and protest against that. I mean, this has got to stop. We have to return to some form of normalcy, or people are going to lose their minds, man. It's just, I just don't get it. I just do not understand.
I don't
what
either.
The end game is.
I don't either. Let me tell you what really bothered me today is, and I know it's my kid, okay? I get it. So we're all biased towards our kid. Why is it if you have a soccer team? So Carson's soccer team he's on the Oxford Middle School soccer team, and Oxford Middle School shut down today. They went virtual only till the 30th. None of the players on his team are in quarantine, and none of the players on his team are positives. But their game Saturday got canceled. Why? Why do you want to take that opportunity away from those boys? Because I know people go, well, what difference does it make? Well, I'll tell you what. To a bunch of 14 and 13-year-old kids, it makes a big difference. We remember being 14, right?
My God.
Yeah.
At that age, you live for games. Look,
yeah,
I remember being 14 years old and having a baseball game at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and I was dressed in my full uniform at 3. Of course it matters to them.
Absolutely,
yes,
it matters. Yeah, I mean, they get to wear their jerseys to school. He got to.
Sure.
They played their first game on Monday, and he got to wear his Oxford soccer jersey to school. And I mean, we all remember that. And people, I get so pissed off, man. I'm sorry, I really do. I get emotional about it, if I'm honest, when people belittle that and go, "Oh well, they'll get over it." I want to go through the screen and punch people.
I'm with you, man. Look, think about this. You get to experience college once. For a lot of people, that's the greatest time of your life. Think about these kids that are freshmen who have missed out on pretty much the whole college experience. I know they've gotten to go and all that, but it's just not the same.
No,
and who
it's
knows
not the
what
same.
Their sophomore year is going to be like now. I mean,
so I was talking to Campbell,
crazy.
My daughter Campbell, who you may be aware of. I don't know. She's a sophomore, and we were talking.
Sure.
We were talking about that today, and I was talking about the freshmen, and she was talking about how they just recently had initiation in Chi-O, but they didn't get to do all the stuff that you always do when you get initiated. And come on, man. I mean, people can
relive that.
Yeah, you can trivialize that stuff all you want to. You can trivialize it if you want to, but I reserve the right to go, that's a major loss. You took that away from a young, healthy person who is not impacted from this. And the truth is COVID went through that sorority house already. The overwhelming majority of them got it and recovered, in quotes. That it's just,
and they're not giving them any ability for antibodies or anything like that.
No, no one's willing to do that. Not here, not there, not anywhere. I'm not picking on Ole Miss or Oxford or Arkansas or anywhere. No one's willing to go, hey, you know what? Let's do something sensible here. Let's test for antibodies.
Look, man, even my doctor told me, he goes, look, John, you gotta listen to the scientists on this. Okay, but it's all contradictory bullshit. I'm tired of listen to the science when everything you hear, everything you read, depending on the day or even hour, is something different. So, I'm just over it, man. I'm COVID. I am quarantined out, COVIDed out, whatever you want to call it. I'm done with it. I refuse to comply with any of this anymore. I missed a day of work, and I work for a company where I'm in and out of a plant probably 15 times a day with 180 plus workers. We may have had 5 minor cases since this stuff started, So, and we take every precaution possible, and we do a great job of doing everything you can to prevent it and not spread it. But I'm just, I don't know, man.
No, I'm with you, John. I feel you. It's real. I watch. I don't know. And then I came home today and Brett McMurphy who's Brett with the stadium. He had tweeted the thing about the suicides up 200%. And if I'm honest, and everybody forgive my language here, it scares the shit out of me, man. I mean, if I'm just honest, it scares no doubt. It does. It scares me, and I'm kind of like choking stuff back right now. It really scares the hell out of me, and I'm deeply concerned about what's coming, and this is not about Joe Biden or the Democrats or the Republicans. It's not. I swear it's not. I really don't care. I've said this before. Whoever's the president, I'm cheering for that person because he or she doing well means my country's doing well. I am really worried about the spring. I talk to people around athletics. That's what we do. I've talked to people around athletics, and I've probably done more of this than Chase has because I'm more of a worrier than Chase is probably. And I talked to a couple of basketball coaches last night, and no, not the 2 that people would think that I talked to, other ones. And I said, hey, how do you feel about the season? And both of them in different ways, in different conversations said, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it. It's like, he said, this contact tracing thing is a problem. This there's no enthusiasm. The kids have to wear masks to practice. It's wearing on them. I saw some video of a basketball practice with them wearing masks, actually playing with masks on, and I thought, my God, what are they doing? Haven't they all been tested before they go out there? They're all negative, obviously. Yeah, so why in the hell do you have a mask on in a gym at practice with no one in there other than your teammates and coaches who have been tested? It makes no sense. Yeah, it's insane. We talked about it earlier in the show. I don't want to get repetitive, but I just started thinking about it last night. I was thinking about college baseball, and I was thinking, how do you socially distance a baseball team? Major League Baseball, if you remember, Chase and John, if you remember, they all expanded their dugouts.
Yeah, I remember this.
And guys would go sit in the stands. Like, I watched a lot of Reds games this year because they would just come on and you would see Reds pitchers sitting in the lower level, like just sitting there. Like charting or whatever, or just
hanging out,
drinking a protein drink or whatnot. And I thought, okay, can you do that at college baseball? How do you do this? And I'm legitimately concerned about, can we get through a season? And before anybody thinks I'm for seasons, Chase knows this. I want everybody to play. But if we're going to do this contact tracing thing, guys, Missouri's not playing today, tomorrow, Saturday, whenever the hell it is, with one positive. Chase, they have one positive. Yeah. And so they're not playing. And so you think about a smaller sport, right? Basketball's 13 kids. Baseball's 25 kids. You think about the numbers. I mean, you don't have to be a mathematician.
The only thing I'm holding on to is this vaccine that they conveniently came out with 2 days after the election.
And there's another one now. Moderna's really close. And then there's another one that's really close. And I am too. I mean, I'm really hopeful that the vaccines give people, if nothing else, peace of mind. And like I talked to Campbell today, was like, I'll take it. I'm not going to ask any questions. If it helps me get back to normal, I'll just take it. And I think that's probably the majority opinion, even for people who are like, I don't really trust this.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not going to be the first in line to get it.
Of course not.
No,
I'd like to see Congress. I'd like to see
anything. But,
I'd like to see all of Congress, Republicans and Democrats, lined up and let them take it first on national television.
Absolutely, no doubt, man. But yeah, I just wanted to call and vent a little bit and just tell you guys how much I enjoy the show. Been listening a long time. Been subscribed to Rebel Grove since I guess 2013, 14, somewhere around there. I don't know. But, yeah, I enjoy it, and keep it up. Y'all provide it's almost therapeutic listening to y'all sometimes when you stay as frustrated over this as I've been lately.
Well, I'm glad I'm providing therapy for somebody because I have a number of people who are not happy with me. So, anyway, thank you.
Hey, keep it up, Neal.
Thanks, John.
All right, man. See ya.
It was John from Yazoo. I admire your ability. Seriously, you're going to think this is condescending. Your ability to not get publicly worked up about the COVID stuff is admirable. And I mean that sincerely. I'm being legitimately honest. I wish I could get there. You have one advantage that I don't have, and that your daughter is young enough to not be truly.
No, she has not been
impacted.
Her days have not been impacted at all at this point. I mean, they were out of school when everybody was out of school in the spring for that period of time. But I mean, she's been in her school without any days missed since August, without any issues.
Would you sign up for the vaccine?
Oh yeah.
I would too.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
I've thought about it.
Well, it depends. I mean, does that allow me to do things?
Yeah.
Or are you just?
I don't think you're
going to
have a choice.
You don't.
No.
You think it's going to be a mandatory vaccine?
I think it's going to be made in such a way that it's going to be everything but mandatory.
Are they going to put it in the flu shot vaccine?
Eventually.
You can combine them where you just take one thing.
Eventually, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, this is not political. There's no flu this year.
No.
Oh, I missed a call. I'm sorry.
That'd be all right.
We fixed it. Now it's easy.
You have to catch it now.
You have to catch it now. Back in the day, it'd be like, boom, your eardrums popped. Yeah, I agree with Grind. He says it's going to be mandatory for kids to go to school. Avery, right above him in the chat, I saw this story tonight. Ticketmaster always said they'll require it for you to get.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
you like have to put in something or whatever?
No matter what you think, Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever, there's a certain Big Brother element that's coming into this vaccine. Ain't no doubt about it.
That's interesting.
It really is. Hey, caller, who's this?
This is Casey from Natchez. How y'all doing?
Hey, Casey, what's up?
Oh, man, just relaxing and watching the show. I see you got your hat. That's a cool hat.
It is a cool hat. I was super excited about it.
I got one too. Yeah,
Did you get one?
Yeah, I got one of the 100 as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we both locked those in.
It took me like 24 seconds, and they said they were all gone in 57 seconds.
Was it really 57?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I was so paranoid about it because I've tried a couple times and hadn't been able to do it that I ordered something else earlier in the day just to test the process. And figured,
that was smart.
I timed myself and said, okay, I bought Carly Ann a T-shirt, and I just said, okay, I'll buy her a T-shirt, she'll wear it, whatever, won't know the difference, and I'll see how long it takes me. So I used a couple different pay methods. I did that, looked at them.
I used Apple Pay. Because I texted Rob, and I was like, what should I do? And he goes, most people recommend Apple Pay. So I'm like, okay, I got
whatever the other one was. It wasn't like to put in the card, but it was like the purple one. It was like the Shop Pay or whatever it was called. I already had an account with that. So as soon as I got to the checkout thing, it popped up a thing and said, type in these 4 digits.
Okay.
I typed in 4 digits, and it just completely finished the sale immediately.
What threw me off was it asked for my email address, and I'm having to type that in real fast. And
you're freaking out. And whatever. Because a lot of people are like, no, it's a marketing ploy. No, some bitches run out. Like, he's proved it. No,
they're gone.
They're gone.
They were gone. 57 seconds. They were all gone.
Yeah.
It's a good looking hat. I like it. It looks like kind of like the minor league caps. I have a lot of different minor league caps because they all have like cool logos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not too far off from our Legion logo when I played in high school. We were the River Bandits.
Oh.
And it was a baseball with the bandit handkerchief kind of thing on it. So it's kind of the same.
So you were forward thinking it was a mask.
Our baseball had a mask. That is correct. Yes, my Legion team logo, the baseball had a mask on. That is correct.
Sorry, Casey.
No, you're good. Chase, have you ever played Beaupre Country Club in Natchez, the golf course?
I have not. No, I've never played any golf in Natchez at all.
Okay, it's a pretty good course. It's ranked. I don't know. I think in Mississippi it's like top 10 or close to it. I can't remember. But anyway, I live out here in the country club, and I'm a banker, so I didn't have to go to work yesterday, Veterans Day, and I got a pretty cool little golf story for you.
Okay, sure.
So I've been playing. I'm not very good. I've been playing for about a year. If I don't cheat, I'm probably a 12 handicap, 10, 12 handicap.
Do you routinely cheat so you're a 6? Is that what you're saying?
Do what? Do what now?
You routinely cheat so you're like a 6? Is that what you're saying? You said if I don't cheat.
No. So I started playing during this COVID stuff. Like I've lived out here for, I don't know, 10 years. And by the way, we graduated Ole Miss at the same time, and I think I had some classes with you.
Okay.
But I didn't know you then. But anyway, I started playing. The first time I ever shot it here is par 72. I shot a really high number, like a 104 or something. And
Neal's jealous as hell right
Congratulations.
I'll tell you what I did, though, that's interesting. I've never played. I played baseball for a long time. That was the sport I played. I wasn't particularly great at it, but I wasn't bad at it. So I do have some hand-eye coordination. But I started off with some Titleist AP1s, just, regular variable length irons.
Sure.
And my buddy told me about the one length thing. He said, look, if you never tried it, you ought to try it since, you're not used to anything. Well, I got some Cobra speed zones, the
sure.
one lengths.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, these may be gimmicky or whatever, but I'll try them out. And, dude, I'm not kidding you. I shot within about a month. I lowered my score. I was shooting like in the high 80s pretty consistently. And then Wednesday's the best score I ever had, and I had a witness. I shot a 79, so that was really good for me. But they really helped. The ball's in one spot. They're all 7-iron length.
I think it's a 7-iron. Yeah.
It's 7-iron length. It's weird. I mean, it's not as big of a difference as you think. I mean, it's only like an inch and a half, like on a wedge or something. But the 4-iron feels a little weird, and the gap wedge feels weird. But other than that, I mean, I'm not really used to variable length anyway. So it's kind of just been easier for me to have one repeatable swing.
On the less lofted irons, I really understand the benefit. Like I could really understand the control and the ability to hit a 4-iron to 7-iron length, a 5-iron to 7-iron length, but I can't make my mind up on why it helps with the higher loft clubs. Like to me, I'd rather have the pitching wedge or the 9-iron that are just at those lengths because that's shorter anyway. You have even more control with that. Although I do understand the one ball position standpoint.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're all weighted the same. It's they're lots of different. The one thing I will say, I mean, sometimes like if I'm in a bunker or something, I mean, I'm going to choke down. I mean, you can still choke down on them, but
sure.
there is they do the lower wedges loft the ball way higher into the green, which reduces the spin and the rollout and everything, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so I've been playing a little while, and I've been playing on the course, and we're on hole number 3, and it's like a 440-yard, par 4, and me and my brother was playing, and I hit a decent drive, and he hit a decent drive, and I was about, 150 yards out. Well, there's some deer down on the left side of the green. They're probably, 15 yards from the pin. Mm-hmm. And my brother was like, look at that. They're out there all the time. We were playing about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then all of a sudden this buck came out. And we were just watching. It was pretty cool to see it. It's pretty in the morning and everything. And they weren't moving. My brother kind of yelled and they just stayed there. And he was like, well, it's your shot. I guess you should go. And I was like, well, I don't want to hit them. And he said, there's no way you're going to hit them. Just go. They'll run off anyway. Well, sure enough, I hit the ball and I hook it, and it hits the buck right above his butt, like on his back, and rolls within 3 inches of the hole. So I got to birdie the hole, but it hit the deer, and the deer didn't even move. He kind of just jumped for a second and sat there, and then like 10 seconds later, just eased off into the woods. So it wasn't a hole in one, but I did hit a deer and get a birdie out of it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't tell the story bragging about the birdie, but as far as didn't hurt the deer. You got your you got to put a circle on a scorecard. It's all good.
In September. I'll take any birdie I can get.
I understand,
but the thing, I mean, golf it's fun, but it's also really aggravating because y'all know you play, but yeah, I thought it was cool. It just, I mean, they're all over the neighborhood, but they usually, if they see you, they run. But he stood there, and sure enough, I hit it right off on him. So nice little birdie.
Yeah, and congrats on the 79. That's pretty good improvement quickly.
Yeah, well, I had a witness. My brother was there, and then one other guy picked up and started playing. It was at the end, or nobody would believe it. I was just thankful that I had somebody out there. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a little bit better. But I do have one question, and y'all kind of talked about it. You may have talked about it before, but I just started watching a little bit ago when I got home. I mean, the COVID stuff, and I know a lot of it's political. It's been politicized. I'm not saying COVID's not real, not a political thing, but just a political thing, totally. But at first I thought, like, no matter who the president was or is, or we don't even know, I guess we know, but then everything's weird right now. I thought it would back down a little bit, but now I just, like you guys said before, I don't know that it is.
No, I think,
and I don't really.
I think I underestimated the number of people who are legitimately scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of thinking that it was a political thing to a lot of people, and I'm sure it was to a lot of people. But I think there are people who are more scared of it than I am. There's a real difference in mentality in two different types of people. And hey, thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. There's the people that are so scared of it that they test and test and test. And then there are the people that are like, my kid's not testing for this unless they're really sick. And so you have different kinds of approaches to it. I've never been around anything, though, Chase, that is this split on party line. There's very little middle ground with COVID-19.
And as time gets on, those feelings get ingrained even harder down both sides.
Yeah.
You get more so either way, no matter what.
9 months.
If you're on an extreme, you get even more extreme.
Yeah, there's no middle ground.
Yeah.
You either are terrified of it or you are just you're almost dismissing it.
Jeffrey Simmons turned into a pretty good NFL player, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Never really a problem on the field.
Picks are up today. They're brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area and Ridgeland. The College Corner next to Fleet Feet, in Flowood next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, not a problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram as well. I'll have Food for Thought up tomorrow. It's brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill. Live music 4 times per week. The perfect place to enjoy lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson. We are also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. I'll have a Mind on My Money up early tomorrow. We talked about the markets, how they're impacted by what happens in Georgia, how they're impacted by the vaccine, all that stuff. We talked a lot about that. Pretty interesting stuff about how the markets are being impacted. That's brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. It's pintrust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling, whether it's this holiday season, whether it's next summer, get in touch with John. And he knows about all sorts of deals that are out there that you can't find on your own. All you got to do is give him some parameters and a budget. He'll give you options. 901-494-3387. J. Edwards at regencytravel.net. First-time clients save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. And we're brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com.
You mentioned Freddie Freeman winning the NL MVP earlier. He gained 28 of 30 first-place votes.
Oh, wow.
The other 2 first-place votes went to Mookie Betts. Manny Machado finishes third. And then Jose Abreu of the White Sox won the AL MVP. First time since 2006 that a pair of first basemen have won the MVP awards. Could you guess either one of the 2006 first basemen?
2006 first baseman, Cecil Fielder.
Nope. He was gone by then.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. 2006 AL first baseman.
Or NL too.
Okay.
Yeah, last time that both NL and AL first basemen.
Albert Pujols.
Nope.
No? Jeff Bagwell?
Nope.
Huh.
It is the AL MVP, I'm assuming, was a Minnesota Twin.
David Ortiz?
No. The AL first baseman was a Minnesota Twin. The NL first baseman was a Philadelphia Philly.
Was that Jim Thome?
Way too late.
NL first baseman 2006.
MVP.
Oh, Ryan Howard.
That's correct. The Minnesota Twin was Justin Morneau.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have gotten that one.
Yeah. Last time two first basemen got it. So, anyway.
How about that?
Betts was trying to become one of only 2 players to win a MVP in both leagues. Can you name the player that has an MVP in both leagues?
Can you give me a year, a time frame?
That
would help.
I mean, yeah, a long time ago. Let's see.
Because I've had just enough of the pure Kentucky to...
In the 60s.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. But
Frank Robinson.
That is correct, yes. That is. He had a 20-year career, so I'm like, but probably in the 60s.
He was really good.
Yes.
One of the few good things about the pandemic, and I do mean very few, was MLB would show those old games. And like Roberto Clemente was awesome. God, he was good. Sandy Koufax was a monster. Like you watch those guys, you're like, whoa. Don't give me the era thing. Roberto Clemente could play in any era and dominate. Have you ever seen his swing?
Yeah, I've seen video of him. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful swing.
Let's look in here.
Yeah, I forgot about Ryan Howard, too. He was really good for a while. He was in The Office.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a Brave for a day, like this year or last year or something? Didn't the Braves sign him for like just a minute?
No, I don't think so. He's been gone for a while.
Has he?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they just brought him like something.
So Ryan Howard's brother worked at LSU, and I covered an LSU-Arkansas game back in Mobile, and I was in War Memorial in Little Rock.
Okay.
Jamarcus Russell and all them. And I sat in the press box next to Ryan Howard for an entire game. And it was awesome.
He talked?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
Couldn't have been nicer.
That's cool. That's good.
I didn't bug him. I told him, I said, so I don't want to bother you because I know you're here just enjoying your time. I enjoy watching you play, whatever. And he was very nice. And we talked baseball for a minute, and that was it. Then we kind of talked football, and he liked that.
It was 2017. Howard, right?
Ryan Howard.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
been it wasn't this year or last year, but yeah.
So he hung around for a while.
Yeah, he was a full-time player through basically 16. He played 39 games in 16.
How about that?
Yeah.
Damn. He had a hell of a career.
You didn't realize he was around that long?
No, so it was him and Jimmy Rollins and who else was on that Philadelphia team? Was that
still Scott Rowland? Or was he gone by then?
He was gone by then.
Okay.
Who else was on that Philly team?
Because they were a World Series team in what, 08?
Yeah, something like that. It was Howard and Rollins and like Mike Lieberthal.
Chase Utley, obviously.
Chase Utley was on that team. I knew there was another star.
Yeah. And that was Hamels and
Cole Hamels. Yeah. Damn, that was a good team. Jimmy Rollins was a great player. He's done now, isn't he?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from Rollins
Yeah.
in a while.
He was a hell of a player.
So, yeah, there's our little sidetrack for the day.
Shane Victorino was on that team. Yep.
Ryan Howard was Rookie of the Year in 2005. So about 11, 12 years.
Yeah. That's a hell of a career.
Something like that. NLCS MVP 2009, NL MVP 2006, World Series champion 2008, as I mentioned.
Was Halladay on that team?
I don't think so. This is interesting. Only a 3-time All-Star.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard.
It's hard to make the All-Star team.
Yeah, only 3 times. That's interesting to me for whatever reason. Let's see. 2008 Phillies.
You never know where the hell this show's going,
Yeah,
man.
it's
It's crazy.
Pitchers.
Charlie Manuel was the manager.
Joe Blanton, Drew Carpenter, Clay Condrey, Chad Durbin, Adam Eaton, Tom Gordon, Cole Hamels, J.A. Haupt, Kyle Kendrick, Brad Lidge, Jamie Moyer, Brett Myers, J.C. Romero, R.J. Swindle.
That staff won the World Series? Damn. Because there's not a lot there. I mean, that's Thanksgiving. Like, so we have turkey. That's it. I think this is this Grind?
Yeah, it's Grind.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh, man, doing good, man. Glad you guys came on, bro. Gave me a break from doing this. I'm having to write this self-reflective analysis for this literature class.
Ooh,
so you guys saved me.
self-reflective analysis. No offense, but that sounds brutal.
Man, so we basically were assigned, the 2 authors I were assigned in 2 pieces were Dante's Inferno and the Song of Roland. And so I have to write, basically a 5-page epic poem, kind of, tapping into the senses of how Dante did with his character in Inferno, but I have to, make it kind of more of a Christian thing, like the Song of Roland, and then do an analysis, but, kind of make it towards myself, and then do an analysis on, what I learned about myself from that poem or from the epic piece that, that we're doing. So
that sounds horrible.
It's literature, bro. Yes, man. So brutal.
That sounds terrible. God, that sounds awful.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, you guys are lifesavers.
So I got to ask you an NBA question. What do you think of the whole Westbrook-Harden dynamic where apparently they did not get along in Houston?
I could see that because first let me comment on that because man, like Westbrook, he's just one of those guys. He needs to learn to be a number 2 and just calm the F down.
He won't do it.
Honestly.
He won't do it, and that's why it's so funny. Like all these people, and you guys forgive us for just a minute because I've got some NBA stuff sort of stored up in me a little bit. All these people out there are talking about him going to the Bulls, and I'm like, no, he didn't exactly treat Billy Donovan in a way that Billy Donovan probably appreciated, and now Billy Donovan's in Chicago and has more power than he had in Oklahoma City. And I don't know that he's like, yeah, let's bring Russell Westbrook in here.
Exactly. And man, it's just, and see, that's what I was going to ask. You remember that day? It was the day, Chase was out and you asked me in the chat, about the big trade that happened.
Yeah. The Harden trade. Yep.
Yeah, man. And so, I was somewhat of a Thunder fan, but I was really more of a KD fan. Like, KD was my guy. But, when he left, I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't cheer for you. And so for years, man, I always said,
welcome to my house,
it was KD's fault. but this is what I'm getting at, though. For years, I was like, man, it's KD's fault why he doesn't have a ring. And, now in hindsight, I think, it's all on Russell. And that's what I was going to ask you as a fan. The Thunder should at least have one championship.
Oh,
at
yeah.
least.
Well, they should have more than one. They should absolutely.
Honestly, the Thunder should have been what the Spurs were. If you want to be real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always wondered what would have happened if they would have just kept Harden and done it in 13 and won.
Yep. they would have had their big three just like the Spurs, and they still would have been riding out right now.
Harden wanted to leave though, and that's the kind of the untold part of that story is that he wanted out. He wanted his own deal, and the Thunder offered him a pretty lucrative deal, and when he wouldn't take it, they panicked. And then they made a good deal. They got Kevin Martin, who ended up being a great fit on that team, and then Westbrook got hurt in the playoffs. Otherwise they win a title. So I mean, they're just it's kind of what's the word? I mean, they're sort of not starstruck, but I can't. I've had enough. I can't think of the words, but they just their luck ran out on them. They never really caught that break, and even the year that they were pretty good, I guess it was 14. You know, they were beating the Clippers, and Serge Ibaka pulls his hamstring at the end of Game 6 and was not available till like Game 3 of that series.
You
know, and they just never it never all worked out for them. But the Westbrook 10 years from now, 20 years from now, someone will get the true story on Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and what that relationship really was, because it's funny because the narrative was that Kevin Durant was this family guy and Russell Westbrook's this flamboyant, crazy guy, and in fact, they were the opposite of that. Kevin Durant, you know, wanted to go out and hang with the guys and wanted to go party and stuff after games, and Russell has this very small circle of trust. It's his dad and his mom and his brother and his now wife.
That might
that's
be
it,
him, man, because it's people that might be feeding into his ego, man. Like he needs to learn to be a 1B or a solid 2 player.
Absolutely, and you know, but what's funny?
If he does that, man, he turns his team into a championship contender if he's with a good player.
So what's funny about the Westbrook story, and I promise people we're going to get off of it, but what's funny about the Westbrook story to me is that there's a period in his life where they have a 9-point lead in Game 6 of the 2016 Western Conference Finals, and if you go back and watch that fourth quarter, and for whatever reason I've tortured myself and probably watched it 50 times. He deferred to Durant throughout that quarter, and Durant probably played the worst quarter of his playoff career.
Yeah, and I mean, it just so happened to be like that.
Yeah, and then after that season, they sit down at dinner. It's the two of them and Nick Collison, and Russell Westbrook says to Kevin Durant, "Hey, I'll do whatever you want me to do." And Durant was like, "Hey, I'm coming back. It's all good." And then he didn't. And Westbrook was hurt, and then Westbrook puts the Thunder on his back, and he guides them to the playoffs, and he wins an MVP. And I just think in his mind, the whole narrative is screwed up. And Ryan Kelly asked a question in the thread. He says, Harden didn't party. In fact, one of the reasons that the Thunder gave up on Harden is in the 2012 NBA Finals. If you remember, games 1 and 2 were in Oklahoma City, and they split them. The Thunder won easily in Game 1 and should have won Game 2. LeBron got away with a foul.
I lost money on their finals, man. Don't mind me.
LeBron got away with a foul on Kevin Durant at the end of Game 2 that should have given the Thunder a win. But regardless, they went down to Miami for Games 3, 4, and 5. And supposedly, and I have this on very good authority, James Harden partied big time every single night. And the Thunder organization was furious about it.
If I can recall, man, wasn't he kind of off in Miami?
He was terrible.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yo,
he was terrible in that series. One series after, he was probably the MVP of the Western Conference Finals when they beat the Spurs.
Yeah, but I just think like the more, and see, it's crazy since KD's not playing. The more we just watch Russell ball and go from organization to organization and fail, I think the better, history is going to look on KD. Like, the more, like, now we're like, man, maybe.
Well, depending on what he does in Brooklyn, though, right? Because at some point he's got to be able to say that he took a team, because he goes to Golden State, and no matter whether it was or wasn't, perception's reality, and the perception is that was Steph's team.
It was.
And so he's got to do it. He's got to do it in Brooklyn.
Him and Kyrie, though.
Yeah.
But that's the special thing about, that Brooklyn's going to have going. It's two dudes that both piggyback off other dudes. Like, Kyrie, he can say, like, I know people talk about the shot and all that. Man, that's LeBron. That's LeBron ring.
Sure.
He did that. He dropped 40 back-to-back, game 6, game 7, and did that. Had the block and everything. So I understand, what people talk about with Kyrie, but him and KD both, they can prove, what they have to prove together, which, is going to be interesting to see.
So the draft is coming up. Do you buy the LaMelo Ball hype that he's a generational player because of his ability in the pick and roll?
Just me, if I'm an organization, man, I stay away from a ball player in the draft. Like I'd rather take my chances, let somebody else draft him, and then if he turns out to be fire, then we'll get him in the free agency. But as far as doing it from the jump, I pass on that. That's just my opinion, though. It's just too much that just comes with it.
So your Tigers are 2 weeks in a row now, no game. What's that like?
I know, man. I know. That's why I was gonna call y'all today, man. Look, this is what I'm resorting to do. This is what I'm resorted to do. I was gonna ask y'all. I was gonna play this little game with y'all.
All right.
I'm gonna give y'all 3 teams, and I'm gonna give y'all 3 individual stats or records, and
Okay.
y'all tell me, and y'all try to match up the programs or teams with the records.
Okay. All right.
All right. You have Florida State, you have Tennessee, and you have Ole Miss.
Okay.
Okay. For one of these stats, this team in their last 31 conference games is 9-23.
Okay.
In their last 31 conference games, they're 9-23.
Florida State, Tennessee, or Ole Miss?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
There's the other team. You have another stat. In their last 45 games, they're 20-25 overall.
Okay.
And you have this other team in their last 42 games, overall games, they're 17-25 overall.
All right. So I should know this. I should be able to get the Ole Miss part of this.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, no, you got to kind of think about it. So 2-5, 2-4. A touchdown Titans. 2-4, 4-8,
5-7,
5-7, 6-6. So that's 6, 5, 11, 18, 20. So one was 20 and what?
25.
So is that Ole Miss 20 and 25?
Nuh-uh.
Okay.
See, I would have thought Ole Miss was worse than 20 and 20. I mean,
No one told me there'd be any math here tonight. Grind. No one said that.
I'm going to guess.
It wasn't really about y'all doing math. It was just about y'all just taking guess on which
I mean, look,
right
I get the point on the overall deal. My guess would be Tennessee's 9-23 in the league, Florida State's 20-25 overall, and Ole Miss is 17-25 overal.
Damn, Chase, I need to put a super chat in the goddamn chat or something, man.
How about
Damn,
that?
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah, that was my guess. Well, because I mean, look,
right,
Ole Miss is struggled in the league play. I thought they were worse than 9-23, frankly. I don't know that, but just in my head, that's what I assume.
Well, see, if you would have went back one more year, then yeah, it would have been, instead of 9-23, I believe it would have been 10-30.
God. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what that's kind of what I was thinking.
If you would have went back,
stayed in business?
All those stats. If you're just wondering, all those stats come from 2017 to now.
Oh,
and the only reason I started at 2017 was because Florida State went 10-3 in 2016, and so I could, all those teams, and that's what I'm saying. Like Florida State and Tennessee, you're really compared to a program in Ole Miss that's really been on probation. Like that's the crazy part. That's what I'm like. That's the crazy part, and doing that.
So Mark has is this right? Mark Angelou in the thread says Tennessee put up an 0-8 in 2017. Is that right?
Yeah. They went 4-8 overall, 0-8 in the conference.
Son of a.
That's the thing. I mean, we went through their coaches the other day. They've had 2 decent seasons since Fulmer left.
In 2 decades.
Butch Jones won 9 games a couple times. Okay, great.
And man, that's what I'm going to ask y'all, because, look, when I was little, I was a big Florida State fan when I was little, because, my little league team was the Seminoles, and we was winning championships, and Florida State was good, because I was like 5, so this was like, 2000, 2001, whatever. And so, man, is Tennessee succumbing of the same fate? I mean, is Florida State succumbing of the same fate
Yes.
to Tennessee? Because look,
The answer
if
is
I snatch
yes.
off the names, you have both legendary coaches that leave the program, and now they're now. I know Jimbo. Now the difference is Jimbo Fisher did take Florida State to the national championship. So Jimbo Fisher was kind of like what Lane Kiffin would have been in Tennessee if he would have stayed, but but Lane Kiffin didn't. And so now Florida State is just in this tailspin, which is crazy. Like, how do you have a losing record in the ACC?
The answer to the Florida State thing is yes. They're no longer the program they once were. I don't think they're ever going to be that program again, and I don't like that word much. I don't like ever and always and never. Those are big words. But the answer is they're not going to ever be what they were before. They've had their glory day. It's over. And Jimbo got very disgruntled with Florida State because they were not committed to doing it the way that it needed to be done to compete with Clemson in the ACC and to compete with all of the SEC programs that were around him. And he left. And quite frankly, as much as we like to make fun of Jimbo and the cult that is Texas A&M, as you start to watch what he's building there, you're like, oh, well, maybe he had a point.
Yeah.
Well, look, when they're all operating, that they don't have the resources.
It don't make no sense. They're in Florida. There's so many players around there, and you play on a week like you play Maryland and Virginia and Boston College.
But
and
you know what?
Number 3 in Florida.
But you know what?
Miami has a better machination going on than Florida State does.
Florida's a lot like Texas geographically. People move to Florida. People move to Texas, and that doesn't mean that they develop loyalty to those places.
Facts. That is true.
You know, just because your family moves to Tampa because dad got a job doesn't mean that you're like, okay, well, suddenly I'm going to become a Gator fan or a Seminole fan. Maybe some do, but not everybody does. And, man, there's a bunch of people that move to Texas now from all over, from California or whatnot. They don't, hey, hook them or gig them. They don't. They're still UCLA fans or USC fans or Cal fans or Stanford fans or not give a damn fans. They cheer for the Rams or the Raiders or the whatever. And it just because the kids are there doesn't mean that they're loyal. It's not like kids who grow up in like you, Mobile, where, hey, you're either Alabama or Auburn because you have to pick in elementary school. It's not like that. And so it's a different deal. It's one of the reasons that when I have these conversations with people, they're like, well, would so-and-so take the Texas job? Would so-and-so take the Texas job? I get it's a great job, but it's not an automatic job.
Well, it's some of the fan base, like some part of the fan base is starting to call like the administration kind of racist because they see it like, okay, look, in their eyes, Willie Taggart got fired after 21 games, and it looked like Mike Norvell is not going to do any better.
Yeah,
like right now he's sitting at 2-5, and you know, but right now the administration is telling them, well, we don't have the money to fire him, and so you know, and now the fans was like, well, you know, just some BS, and so it's just going to be interesting to see what they do. So you know, but that's all. You know, it was just one of those teams that you know I grew up liking, but my granny took me to the Auburn LSU game in 2004, and that was the end of that. You know, Auburn went undefeated, and I fell in love after that. So
I was at that game. That was a hell of an Auburn team, man.
Man, great game. But just my thoughts on the weekend. I got Ole Miss 44-31 over the Gamecocks, and I think the easy money over this weekend is the Iowa-Minnesota game. Iowa big.
Yeah, Iowa big. Yeah, I tend to agree.
All right, man. Y'all boys have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Grind.
All right.
Always fun to talk to Grind.
Back on this other topic one more time.
Okay.
Because I had this up and just kind of so I can close the tab out. Charlie Manuel, you mentioned, was the manager of the Phillies in 2008.
Yeah.
Really interesting career for him. He was a major league manager for 14 seasons from 2000 to 2013. And he won exactly 1,000 games, literally 1,000 on the nose as far as wins. His seasons, he got no ability to right a ship whatsoever. So he's at Cleveland. He goes 90-72, 91-71, and in year 3, he's 39-47 when he gets fired. In year 3, gets hired by the Phillies 3 years later. Actually has 2 years off or whatever he did, and then 2 years later.
So was he the manager of the Indians when they lost to the Marlins?
No, that was 97 and 97.
Okay.
So no, he was gone. And then he gets hired by the Phillies in 2005. 88 wins, 85 wins, 89 wins, 92 wins and a ring. 93 wins, 97 wins, 102 wins, 81 wins, and then he got fired at 53 and 67.
Wow.
Just immediately, as soon as anything went, he got the hook both
That's
times.
a hell of a number.
Yeah.
He had
a run for the Phillies.
He had a hell of a career.
Yeah.
So he won 102 wins but didn't win a title that year.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And they didn't even win the pennant because they won the pennant in 2009 and lost in the World Series.
To the Blue Jays. No.
Your decades, Neal, are
way it's
off.
hard to keep up, man.
93 is what you're looking for there between the Phillies.
So who
and
the
Blue
Phillies
Jays.
lose to in the
In 2009?
Yeah, in the World Series.
Yankees 4-2.
Oh, okay.
The 102 win Phillies. That was they went 102 and 60 and lost 3-2 in the divisional series. Not even making the NLCS to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, that was the Halladay Carpenter game.
I don't remember. You were probably a Phillies fan that night.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I'd cheer for Al-Qaeda.
You were probably all in on the
Yeah. By the time the playoffs roll around, I just cheer against whoever's.
God, that was one hell of a season, though. 102 and 60.
102 and 60, and you get beat.
Carlos Ruiz, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Placido Polanco, Raul Ibanez, Shane Victorino, and Hunter Pence.
That's a good team.
Those were the starters.
Hunter Pence was the one I was trying to think of earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just retired.
He was the and then their pitching staff, their starting five, oh boy, coming to the park every day. Halladay, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, Roy Oswald, and Vance Worley.
Whoa.
You better show up. That team lost a divisional series.
That was a
Baseball's
good
crazy.
Cardinal team, though.
Good grief. Ryan Madsen was their closer. So, anyway, yeah.
That hurts to think about.
Philadelphia Phillies trivia for your day.
The Halladay story is a tragic story.
Yeah.
It really is. It's one of when you read it, it just hurts your heart. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Pat.
Hey, Pat.
What's going on? I just wanted to call, and I don't know if y'all talked about it. I just got in. But LSU, what's going on with LSU being scared to match up with Alabama? I love how that's playing out tonight.
Well,
I don't know if y'all talked about it.
We haven't really talked about it. They are very clearly, probably scared is the right word. They are reluctant to line up against Alabama, and they're using excuses. And I can tell you this: the league's not happy about it. Alabama's not happy about it. CBS is livid about it. It is
love to see it, though. As an Ole Miss fan, you love to see it. So
I wish for the league standpoint.
I say that Grind had a great call. Grind was a great call. I love the question you had through, except for I would like for it to be in like all conference, but Chase knocked that out of the park. But Grind, listen, it's all about the Morant Grizzlies. Let's talk Grizzlies around here, please. But good call by Grind. Also, first-time caller. Just wanted to call in and say what's up. And I love to see the chaos that's going on in LSU. They deserve it. As much as everybody hates MSU around here, I hate LSU. Anyway, I'm going to hang up and let y'all talk. But anyway, y'all.
Thanks, Pat.
Look, O had this coming. He asked for it.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to get it. Like I said, he's trying to skip the bill right now. The interest is due. The bill's due. He doesn't want to pay it.
They cut a deal with the football gods, and the football gods delivered.
They did.
And now the bill has
arrived.
They
want the check.
Yeah. They're like,
the devil has come for the soul
demand
now.
payment now. Yeah.
And it's coming every week. I mean, that Auburn game, seriously, think back.
48-3. I looked up, it was 49-3, 48-3, whatever. It was like, whoa.
I mean,
that doesn't happen. Hey, and no offense to Auburn, but if Auburn can jump on them 49-3, what can Alabama do to them?
Whatever they want.
Because I think even the most ardent Auburn fan would go, Alabama's a little better than us this year. just a hair. And Alabama apparently spent their offseason
pissed off
listening to that on tape. Like running in audio.
So you think he's going to run it up?
I know the players will. When was the last time that you heard Alabama players trash talking?
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Well, they've done it this week. And Saban's done nothing to stop them.
They'll play the game at some point, I
They've
guess.
gotten on social media with don't run.
Former players. I saw big time in this too.
Yeah, it's personal. Not smart. And Auburn smoked them.
Yeah. Oh. He'll always have last year. But he'll need it.
He'll need it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice memory. It was a hell of a season. It was a dream season.
Oh, I mean, look, they won every damn thing.
They won everything you can win. But, dude, I mean, whew.
And State's going to find a way to only beat them this season. They possibly go 1-9.
LSU and 9.
LSU and 9. I mean, State's gone Tech and 10 before, so I mean, LSU 9 doesn't ring as well, but what odds could you have gotten on that? Because we didn't know how bad LSU sucked at the time.
You could have gotten whatever odds you wanted.
Hey, State's going to beat LSU by 20, and they're not going to win again this year. That's it. Oh, they beat Vanderbilt. Sorry, 2-8. I apologize. It just felt like a loss.
Yeah, LSU doesn't. I mean, Vanderbilt doesn't count. Hey, who's this?
Hey, Neal, this is Joe. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, Joe.
First off, grind. I would kill to have that paper, man. I'm writing up a 8 to 10 page paper for my last graduate class, and because I listened to Neal once too many times on the Dad podcast, I decided to write it on the media in Vietnam. So thank you, Neal. Thank you for now having infected me with this love of the media.
Oh, I'm glad I was able to help.
So, it's not too bad. I just want to say thanks again, guys. You guys are keeping me sane in this world. I understand you guys this is your platform, and I appreciate all the wonderful stuff you guys keep doing. You guys, I've listened to you now on probably 4 continents. I'll make it 5 in about a month when I go back to the Middle East. But I just want to say thank you again.
That's cool.
You've always been there to be that sane voice. Having said all that, Hugh Freeze, I don't know if you covered him tonight, but I'm just curious. Do you think he's coming back to the SEC? And if so, where?
I don't think it's happening right away. I don't think he is a leading candidate at South Carolina based on conversations I've had with multiple people.
That would be the job that would make the most sense for him to come back into.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me a year from now he's a candidate somewhere, I guess maybe.
I just think he stays up the seaboard. I think he's an ACC coach.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't see Auburn hiring Hugh Freeze. And at the end of the day, I don't see Phil Fulmer hiring Hugh Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
And so where else does he go? I mean, if you told me that there was a wild card that Mississippi State aborted on Mike Leach,
come on,
and hired Hugh Freeze, I'd buy that before I might buy the other stuff.
Do you know how much shit would come out about Hugh Freeze within a week?
Who'd report it?
Come on.
Who'd report it? You think Steve Robertson would immediately become a Hugh Freeze fan?
Oh yeah, this entire state base would go all in on him at the same time.
You couldn't recruit too much stuff. Come on.
Who would report it?
Come on.
Who would report it?
You don't think all recruiting would be sabotaged?
Who would report it? Would we get it?
Yeah, it would blow up everywhere.
Oh.
Yes. Come on.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Come on.
That's my fantasy.
Neal, I know you as a good man. You would probably report something just to poke it, right?
I mean, if I had it, I'd report it now. I'd report it today with him at Liberty. I don't have it. I mean, I have rumors. I have people that have hinted at things, but not where I could write it. I mean, I know some things that have not come out, but I don't know them to the place where I could report them.
No, I get that. I mean, no, and that's why one of the things I've always liked about you guys is you guys have standards compared to many other fan sites I've seen. Not Ole Miss, but other fan sites and whatnot. Other than that, what do you guys think going forward? I mean, do you think Mike Leach will survive more than 2 years at this point?
I don't.
Tell me how the money's going, but I mean,
yeah, and again, that Chase makes a great point. What do the crowds look like? What's the COVID situation in the fall?
Yeah. No, if I had one wish, it would be I don't ever want to hear that damn word again, COVID.
Oh, believe me, Joe.
Oh, I know.
We're all in this together.
I really don't want to get you started on it just because.
No, but I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, if you're, this is South Carolina's predicament today. Is on one hand you can go, okay, it's time to get rid of Will. Okay, it's $13 million. It's real money.
Sure.
And then, what does next season? If someone in the room says, okay, well, we bring in Coach X and he's exciting, and we're going to fill up Williams-Brice. In that same room, you have to have hand-raised guys that goes, well, what if guys, just maybe, I'm just talking out loud, what if the COVID thing's not solved and we can't put but 25% in the stadium? What if we can't? What if we can't do another basketball season? What if in February the basketball season gets canceled and we don't get that money? What if the baseball season gets canceled and people are in the room going, "Hey man, shut up," and he's like, I'm doing my job," and at that point, somebody in the room has to go, he's got a point, and that's why I don't know whether any of this happens.
Well, I mean, what I'm curious to see is, I really do hope this vaccine cipher or something does come up here in the next couple of months.
Sure.
And we're able to get through all this, because the bottom line is, Power 5 schools probably have the money, and you're already seeing some of the other programs, the lower programs, they're killing stuff off left and right. Even a couple of Power 5 schools are losing some of their side gigs, but okay, yeah, you had some money in the coffers, the rainy day funds right there. Okay, we're going to pick into it. All right, some folks are going to cut some salaries. Nothing serious, but do this for more than 1 year. What does it look like after 1 year of truncated budgets? And okay, you're not even getting the money from the normal student funds. The boosters are kind of just holding back because they don't even know what the hell's going on. I'm kind of curious to see, God forbid, and I really don't want to see it, but I'd be curious to see how this looks, a year from now, if we're still in this damn mess.
Oh, amen.
Yeah, let's just
avoid that.
Let's just not. But
but
hey, listen, if you're making financial decisions, you have to talk about that. Hey, Joe, thanks for the call. Speaking of financial decisions, this podcast brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB, live Oxford, bankoxford.com, 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. We're brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Bain, Moss & Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi that is made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620. We're also brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James. It is a team in Jackson providing planning and investment guidance to clients across the state and the surrounding areas. Financial advisors Bill Geary, Logan Phillips, Chris Carrero, and Ryan Geary are partners with a commitment to personalized service. So call them at 601-368-2215. See if they might be a good fit for your financial goals. Raymond James and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC. We will have scoreboard business at 4:30, I guess, because we're going to start at 6:30, I suppose. That's brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylists hand-select pieces from top designers, from work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone. The Rogue has all the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Duckhead, Halsey, True Grit, and more. You can visit them at 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or at therogue.com.
Ole Miss wearing the powder blue jerseys on the white pants with the powder blue helmet with the American flag Ole Miss script logo on Saturday. They put out that uniform. So just a little heads up there. The Ivy League has canceled all winter sports. So the Ivy League not playing basketball. They're picking back up, at least as of now, in the spring.
Makes me nervous.
I'm not surprised by them because everything is completely non-revenue. So I still don't believe they're a harbinger necessarily, but it's you don't like to see it no matter what's going on or who it is and the decisions that are being made. So anyway, those are the two things that had popped while we're on. Anything else? We're kind of finishing up.
Joe P., thank you very much. That's very nice of you. He says, raising a beer to us and to Joe Boo back here. Joe Boo?
We can pour the rum at some point.
We could.
Not a big rum guy.
Never know what happens if you pour Joe Boo's rum.
Bad things happen.
Bad things happen.
Need a KFC bucket to put up there next to it. So what they were lacking is the KFC.
And we're not bringing a snake in here.
So. I watched it on Sunday morning. It was on. It was pretty early in it, and I turned it on. And I mean, I've seen the movie. I mean, not even hyperbolic 100 times, and I still laugh.
It's great
every single time. I laugh at multiple things.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I just like a couple of the times where like it's nothing that anybody replays or the joke or whatnot, but. I mean, he's not some great actor, but just the look on Charlie Sheen's face when Jake walks in there and he just slept with Roger Dorn's wife, and he goes, "I swear I didn't know."
Yeah,
he's got this own shit, whatever. Anyway, Tiger Woods, 68, no bogeys at Augusta today, turning back the clock a little bit.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, Tiger, 4 under on his stroll around Augusta National.
Did you watch Chris Vernon's?
It was
so good.
That dude,
it's so good.
It's
so good. I laughed so hard.
There's no give-a with Chris. No. Whatever. Cool.
It was so good.
All good. Well, it rained early this morning.
That's what's going on at Augusta.
And
nothing's going on at Augusta.
And it softened up where they're just throwing darts in there. The course there was no wind. It was scores very, 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 very good. Already behind on time, though. The rain delay made it where they didn't finish today. So... There's a chance that ends up being a Monday finish with that. So
Tiger Woods 4 under. Tiger Woods 4 under. That's so fun. I mean, I laughed. I was sitting in the carpool line laughing. Leif wants to know if Carson, what he thinks about the new coach and the rumors. He's fine with the coach. Carson's deal with the Thunder is very simple, Leif. It is no one even talks about trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Carson probably wears the shirt that you sent him twice a week.
Does he really?
He does. That's his guy. Carson would like to see the Thunder be aggressive in the draft, but he doesn't want them to trade anything that's worthwhile. I think he'd like to see James Wiseman. That's probably not going to happen. He's got some thoughts.
James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Feels like a long time ago we were debating his eligibility at Memphis.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
And it wasn't that long ago. But it was pre-pandemic.
It was a year. I mean,
there's a line of demarcation, which is about 8 months ago tonight.
Oh, really?
roughly.
Is that 8 months?
Well, today's the 12th.
Yeah.
Think about 8 months ago tonight was the night before the Thunder Jazz game. 8 months ago today was the day I drove 3/4 of the way to Nashville and turned around and came back.
That was 8 months.
Yep.
When we're debating basically are the locker rooms open or closed.
Yeah,
or
and I got a call that said they're going to be closed. I'm like, screw it. Why am I doing this? And I came home. And the next night, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, because that was the NBA thing and the whole deal. And
Ole Miss and Georgia were at half, and I flipped to Oklahoma City, Utah, because I wanted to see that game, and then they didn't play it, even though the players were on the floor.
And you went, oh.
And the Thunder medical people came running across the floor, and I was like, oh, no. This is not good. I actually texted Andy Kennedy because he was calling the Ole Miss game, and I'm like, hey, you need to know this.
And
I went, hey, I think the world just changed.
And then we tried to trick ourselves for a couple days there. I mean, we had the, hey, baseball is just going to play fanless, and you're going to do this. And
it was not good.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, nah, actually, that's
yeah, that was not good. I was at the gym the next morning, and I got a call that was like, hey, watch these next 10 minutes. It was a national person. And I was like, what do you mean? And sure enough, Big 12, and then boom, boom. I'm like, oh, my God. And then they canceled college baseball.
Yeah.
Man, it's just 8 months. It feels like 20 years.
We haven't covered anything in person since I covered Ole Miss Princeton.
Think about all the stuff that's happened in our country in the last 8 months. COVID.
Election.
George Floyd, all that stuff that happened in the summer, all the riots and all the stuff, the protests, all the sports things we covered, an election. That's still not completely. It's over. The Chiefs
won the Super Bowl, and Kobe died this year.
Yeah, Kobe died in late January. Chiefs won a Super Bowl in February. It feels like a million years ago.
Whatever.
I mean, do you remember, if I told you, recall one play from that game, you couldn't do it?
I don't remember. No. At all. I don't recall.
I mean, it feels like Ole Miss hired Lane Kiffin 7 years ago. He hadn't been here a year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
17-13 Titans as we leave you, just starting the second half there with Tennessee and Indianapolis. Again, as Neal said, 4:30 on Saturday for Ole Miss, the pregame show for Ole Miss and South Carolina. The Gamecocks-Rebels kicking off at 6:30 from Ball-Hemingway Stadium.
I'll start the stream before that. We'll put some other stuff up.
It'll be here.
It'll be here. We'll have stuff for you. Yeah. So, yeah.
So appreciate the time tonight. Appreciate all the calls from you guys. As always, really enjoy these Thursday night shows, and we'll talk to you again on Saturday. Take care.